Boom, boom. This is Ken, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. All right, we got some Soland Reloaded up today. So let's go ahead and jump into things and take a look at where we're at in the game. So, 93 billion. This is up a couple, it's up about 3 billion. I think it's actually 2 billion. I think it was 91 the last video, maybe, or it might be up 3. I'm not exactly sure. You have to check out the previous video. The jump was due to the event that we had, this Forge event. I was able to snatch up several pieces. I've got enough to make SP Soul Bone sets, so I was able to complete a full Soul Bone SP Soul. This is fully maxed out, fully enhanced. Just got to start doing on the actual promotions, which we use the Phoenix Divine Blood. So I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to start promoting these one at a time. I'm probably just going to keep them at 2 for right now because I want to promote. I've got enough to make another set for Wu. So I want to be able to promote those up a little bit as well. The Phoenix Divine Blood. This was from the Master Forge event previously, where they had, I think it was, I can't remember if it was, I think it was 900. I think is what they had, which is a massive amount of Divine Blood. Considering it's difficult to get, just 60 pieces of it in every other event, it was nice to get that much. So I've got enough. I'm going to be getting one piece from the actual event, Beast Force Battle event here. So I'll be getting that in a week, maybe, probably. Yeah, it should be about a week. Okay, we went up to 94. We went up one more. But I've also got, in the bag, I've also got right here. So that's enough to make 3 pieces because it's 20 each. So the one that I'll be getting inside of the actual, the 20 shards I'll be getting in there, that'll give me 85 shards, which is enough to make 4 pieces, which is a set. So I'll be able to make a full set for Wu when she comes out. I might end up making it beforehand and then sticking it somewhere else. But it's there. So that's one of the things that I was worried about, was not being able to make her a set, because you really get a lot of BP from these SP sets. And I've been saving materials for this for literally a year, so I'm going to be able to max those things out. And as you can see, you can get a lot of BP from maxing those things out. And it's a really good set too. So definitely something that I'm going to be doing once I get Wu, which will be a while because I've not had much luck on the actual draws for her. It's been the last 2 events have been negligible, so it's probably going to be. It would not surprise me. It could probably be maybe close to a month before I actually get her, before I actually earn enough shards. Unless I hit a 50 or 2. You hit a 50 or 2, I've got her. But that's that's a very, very low percentage to hit 50 shards inside the draws. And she won't be in chests anytime soon because she just came out. We're only seeing chests for chests for her, for Tang San and Ma, and in the events where they actually offer shards, we're only seeing shards for Tang San, which you should be taking advantage of those and utilizing those to work up his. I've already got him to God 2, so it's definitely something that if you see events, you should go ahead and snatch it up because he's an excellent character. So he's definitely something that you want to put in your team as soon as possible. Excellent survivability, excellent crowd control, so he's really good for that. So let's take a look at what's going on. I mean, it's this is a weekend, so you're going to have your standard events that you always see. Okay, nothing new there. Those all reset tomorrow, and in time limit we got a lot of stuff. So we've got had a Spirit Soul event, so you should have been able to get a lot of shards inside of the Spirit Souls inside of the time limited sale. As you can see, they had the Moonlight Deer was up. You can get some. I was able to bring up my Chaos Bird upgraded to another star. That helped with that 94 BP as well, and then just a bunch of shards. Get some Spider Devil, some a little bit of everything. Standard as for these events. So that was good. I also had a Soul Beast Invasion. which we completed just to get basically to get the awakening branches. And then it had a huge awakening chest event. I went ahead and did this. I had to open up 800 chests, but I decided to go ahead and do it since I had like 1,100 keys. So I went ahead and opened up just to get to 30. I have enough to probably get her up 3, maybe 4, awakening level 4 for Wu, and then I'll go ahead and start cashing in some of the others to get her up and max her out. We'll have to wait and see how much I got at the end of the week. And then we got an active wheel, of course. Definitely want to participate in this, get all the rewards as well as that. Weekly gift bags. They had some really good gift bags up this week. Yeah, so snatch this up today. Today's the last day for this. This will reset tomorrow. So this is a pretty good set. Nothing to complain about here. Divine Tool. Again, something that can be utilized. And then what I liked about this one was the fact that it had 50 of these in it, which was good, and 1,000 of the Soul Power crystals. So those were pretty good. I purchased all 3 of those. Okay. Daily pack you should be getting out of it. Super Monday. Finish that up today, so I'll get this tomorrow, 780. But I got quite a bit of diamonds. We actually finished up the actual event. Got a life tree. Just jump in there. But we've got we finished the actual event. It was a really good event. I mean, you know, it's something that you want to get as much as you can. Keep going in here, of course, because this is where you get the money for the Soul Beast Force. That's exceedingly important as well. The treasure report, of course, the race was over. The speed race, we did come in 3rd, I believe. Yeah, Shattered Woods, we came in 3rd. Yeah, we're bronze. Yeah, thoughts. So you get 3,100 just for doing that. Okay, so I mean, it's good to participate in it. You always get some rewards. 3,100, of course, is because we actually were in the rankings. But even if you don't rank, you can still get a couple thousand. So it's useful. So definitely participate. If you get into a sect that does participate in it, you do not have to be one of the characters inside of the actual ship. There's only 6 characters allowed in the ship. Doesn't matter. Your whole sect each gets 3,100 if you're 3rd. So you definitely want to participate in it. Okay. Everything else is pretty much normal. So we don't have any major events. I think we should be seeing a Wu event. The 3rd one, it won't be for Wu. It'll be for the new character. But it'll be a chance to start getting some more Wu shards because we're really low on her. Like I've said, the last couple events have been really, really detrimental in terms of getting shards for her. It's just not happening nearly as fast enough. Yeah, 55. So I still got to get 95 shards. Like I said, if I hit a 50, would put me a lot closer. Still would not probably get her, but I would definitely get her afterwards on the following event. Like I say, the events are rollback. You can get shards for these at any time that you want. It's not that big of a deal. I'll be able to fully max her out to 5 sun once I get her, so that's big. That's pretty good. And I'll have the SB Soulbone set. The problem is, of course, still going to be the skills. I mean, you can't. They need to do something about getting us a way to get those red soul bones or soul rings. They're just so difficult to get. You have to really progress far inside of the Royal Hunting Ground, inside of the darkness here, to really have a chance to get them. And you have to be at least 2 or 3 from the top, from completing it before you're actually going to see a consistent output of those. The up rate on the lower parts is just not. I mean, I've blown through 40 keys just testing this thing. It didn't get 1. Okay, and that was not, granted, it wasn't at a super high level, but it was right here. Okay, that's like a little bit more than halfway through. So it should have at least given me 1, but it didn't get any. So the rate's just too low. They stopped giving us them inside of the actual event. Okay, this ended. They didn't renew it. So really no way to get that. So in that, that was a way to get it. I really was not worried about it when they discontinued it because you can get them inside of the but I think they've done something inside of here. I think they've lowered the rate maybe, and that's unfortunate because this is the only way to level up the skills. So that's going to be a part. But I'm hoping that we'll see. I'm hoping we'll get an event where we can get some, maybe a forge event where they'll have some some chests, soul ring chests where we can get a soul ring. It doesn't even have to be a choice. None of them are maxed out right now, so any type would be useful. No matter what one I pulled, it would be something that I could use. But I'm just hoping to see that. Hopefully, we'll see that inside of a soul forge event or any type of event. Like I say, the event that they had for the soul bones was just ridiculous because you couldn't get the soul bones unless you purchased money. You get some divine blood in the event, but which is good. But still, the divine blood needs to be done on the actual soul bone piece. So if you don't have the piece, you can't use the Phoenix divine blood. So they should have made those events where you could at least got some shards from a free-to-play perspective. But they didn't. But they saved us with a Master Forge event, which is why I think that they will probably end up using the Master Forge event to save us for the soul rings. We'll see. Or anything. If not, at least continue the battle pass, reset this so that we can get it. They continued I guess they continued this just because they wanted everybody to be able to get one set, was my assumption. And you needed 4 pieces for one assumption, which means you're going to need 80 shards. So they run it to 80 shards, which is why I think this will go the way of this after this one's complete. My assumption, once you get this, you won't see a change. It will not they might reset it in the future, reset both of them back to 0, but I don't think you're going to see this one growing. I don't think it's going to go 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't see that happening. They'll probably just reset it. But then you'll have a set. If you participated in each of them, you should be able to get a set. Okay, but like I say, I've got enough to make 2 sets because of the Master Forge event, which was an excellent event. I managed to get the shards I'd need to make the pieces, as well as a couple of shards for Tang San to go ahead and start working on his divine skill. So that's what we're looking at for that. But we'll hit a video. We'll probably going to be new events tomorrow because the actual time limited event here for the Soul Zone is ending, because you can look at the Arguing Awards timed out. So it closes out today. Okay. So we should Monday, tomorrow, we should see some new events up. Sometime this week, I think we'll get the character introduced, and we'll see who that's going to be. Like I said, I'm still going to go for Wu. She's OP. Okay. If you look at her skill set, it's not hard to see why. She does a ton of damage. She's a single target nuker, which makes things really good. I mean, if you go, easiest way to analyze what you're going to get from the character is to actually go into the actual Soul Masters, go into the actual handbook. Okay, click on the character. In this case, we're looking at Wu, and you can get an idea of her attributes, which are all pretty much on par with higher level SP characters. But where she really shines is in here, right here. She doesn't do any AoE, okay, which means she's going to be a single target nuker. Excellent survivability. It's getting to the point where I really don't think you're going to need a tank. I don't see what a tank offers survivability. It protects your other team members from getting attacked. But if the survivability is this high, you could probably go with 4 attackers or 3 attackers and a support for a little bit of healing. That it wouldn't be good. And then she's got extra team, and of course DPS is completely above the max. As you can see, it's actually almost out. It looks like it appears to be a little bit outside of the actual barrier. So she's going to do a ton of damage. So expect her to kill whatever she attacks, basically, which is why they're saying she's OP. So it's an excellent replacement for. I was originally my original decision was going to be I was just going to replace her. I was going to replace Dai. That might change. I might replace Erming with her, simply just to keep. Dai does a little bit more damage than Erming. I don't really think I need a tank at this point. With the survivability on these SP characters, it's really not something that of course, don't take this from a PvP standpoint because this is inaccurate from a PvP standpoint. I'm talking from a player versus computer, player versus environment standpoint. I don't think you need a tank or a healer at this particular point. I don't think there's anything in the game from a PVC, we'll say player versus computer, and PvE, which is player versus environment. I don't think there's anything in there that's going to require you, if you've got SP characters, of course, to use a tank or a support character. You could probably get by with 4 SP characters attacking. Now, of course, once you get into PvP, player versus player, that's of course a different matter. You're going to need tanks. You're going to need healers. Because if you don't, you're not going to survive very long. It's just PvP is a completely different beast from what you're facing inside the game. So you're going to need those. So don't ignore those characters. Don't ignore the tanks, and don't ignore the support characters and healers. I'm going to be getting a healer because once I've got 4 SP characters, I'm going to start focusing a little bit more on my PvP stance. But until I can get that, a person with 2 SP characters right now is not going to have any luck whatsoever inside of the PvP, because there's going to be characters with 3, and at the end of this event here coming up sometime this week, there's going to be people with 4 SP characters in their team. The whales who get the characters immediately spend a couple $100s to get the character, maybe a couple $100 more to actually max it out, because they do have pay events inside of there where you can get a bunch of shards and a bunch of materials and whatnot for that character. It costs money, a lot of it actually. I think somewhere around 2. I think is what they said was like $1,000 or $1,500, $2,000 to get a character, max it out. In terms of base materials, of course, if you want to get skins and stuff like that, of course, that's a whole other ball of wax. But it's still, in the end, you're not going to be able to go PvP unless you're from a whale. Okay, so, but for PvE and PvC, I think you can easily get by with 4 SP characters without a tank or a healer. So if you're looking to get your numbers up inside of the Sec Boss, or maybe get your numbers up inside of the Treant, you might be able to get by with that. Okay, I have to test it out first. Like I say, I'm going to try both. When I get Wu, I'm going to replace her with Erming first. See how that goes. I mean, does my survivability start to becoming an issue? Do I have times where I'm, not at looking like I might lose a character? If I did, then I'll have to put Erming back in, and we'll replace Evil Eye with that. But basically, it's going to be basically who can do the most damage is probably going to be sufficient. So I'll probably be able to do it with Erming. Okay. Erming is a great character. He does a good bit of damage. He's just a little bit lower than Eva, and that's simply because a lot of Erming's skills go towards shielding and hit point boosts, which is why he's a tank. Which is why he's registered as one. So, but one of the big blocks about going full attack team before was actually getting the actual mats. It was exceedingly difficult to get the materials that were required to enhance them, and it was basically these right here. Okay, but it stops. You max out at Gold 4's max, so I no longer need to get materials for these characters. Okay, and I don't need to get any character at all for her because she's fully, completely maxed out. So I no longer need to get, farm the materials for that particular item. So now I can start focusing on getting them. This breakthrough material, you get one every 10, and you can sometimes get a second one inside of a 10. So every now and then you'll get two, but that most of the time it's one. And you were needing 300 in some of these, so it takes a really long time to get these materials. And I was expecting, I wasn't expecting that we're going to be able to get to the maximum of this. You see, you're needing 408 of these. That takes a long time to get those. Munching on the Oscar sausages and just sweeping and sweeping and sweeping is the only way to really do it. But when you get to 119, you can max out the levels. I've already got the materials for him. Okay, so I can start throwing these materials into Wu. I'll be able to start focusing on Wu immediately and getting her, she's an attacker, and get her levels up so that she'll be competitive. So it's really not that difficult to maintain a 4 attacker team because there is an end in sight, needless to say. My assumption, what I thought they were going to do was they were probably just going to keep tacking on levels to these where you could just keep getting higher and higher and higher and higher. I seriously thought they were going to go into Prism after this. I assumed it was going to go Gold 5, and then Prism 5 was just what I was thinking because, they had the triple S characters, how they look sort of, but it doesn't. It stops at this. I don't know if they have any intention to increase that on any characters, but it seems to be on both triple S and SP characters. It stops at Gold 4. So I'm ready for it. So he's all finished. So right now I can start on a new SP character. It's not that big of a deal right now. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. I don't see any. I don't see any. So going a 4 attacker team is no longer considered an issue. Okay, there is an end in sight where you will no longer need to farm those attack breakthrough materials for the character. Once you get to level 119, even SP characters at Gold 4, they'll be maxed. So you won't need to worry about to continue farming those in perpetuity, I would say. They do have an end Gold 4. So keep that in mind. So running a 4 attacker team's not that much of a difference now. So with one of the biggest blocks taken away, it now just comes down to, will you not die if you don't have a tank or a support character in your team? And we're going to find out. Once I get Wu, I'm going to replace with their Ming. At that point, I will have 4 attackers. Okay? I'll have Divine King Ting Sang attacker. I'll have Hu. We'll call her the Divine Cat. Hu, an attacker. We'll have Evil Eye, Dai, an attacker, and we'll have Divine King Wu as an attacker. So we'll put him in, and we'll see what happens. If I start, if I die inside of the tree or something like that, then of course I'll just, put Erming back in and replace Evil Eye and put Wu in that place, and we'll go from there. But I'm going to give it a try since the biggest block that I had is no longer an issue. I don't see the need to hold that back. Now, like I say, PvP, you're going to need healers, you're going to need tanks. Don't try to go into a PvP match with somebody who's, with 4 attackers and somebody's got a healer and a tank. You're not going to win. Okay, they're going, you'll be dead before you can kill them. Okay, attackers don't, at least normal attackers don't survive for very long, especially your backline characters. And they're in PV, you got characters that jump to the backline for their attacks, and focus on backline characters. And if you ain't got anything to heal them, then they're just going to be, they're going to be burned down pretty quickly. So you're going to need those. You're going to need healers and whatnot in PvP teams. So keep that in mind if we're going to run a PvP team. But that's something we'll decide afterwards. But first, I want to get. Wu's the next character. Okay. The character after that I'm going to be looking for is Bibi Dong. Bibi Dong she's my favorite character from the anime. I loved her, and she is supposed to be on par, or maybe even some are considered a little bit more overpowered than Wu, from what I'm hearing from people who play on the China server. So she's going to be 3. So that, and she will replace Evil Eye. So my goal was to be running Divine King, Tang Xian, Cat Wu, and then Cat Hu, and then Divine King Wu. And I guess it's gonna be called Divine King. PB Dong. I call them all of them Divine Kings. So that's what I'd like to be running for my, and I think that'll do a ton of damage. If my assumption is that BB Dong will have excellent survivability since the survivability's been off the scale for all of the characters up till now. So we'll have to see. I think the reason they're giving them survivability is because they attack in close. Both Divine King and Wu are melee distance characters. Okay, so if you take a look at Ma, as you can see, Ma is ranged, but he still has fairly decent survivability. I mean, Ma's all about AoE, okay, and DPS. So, this guy's all about damage, okay, but he's got pretty good survivability because he's an SP character, which is why I think going with, like I say, 4 attackers is not going to be that big of an issue. Of course, as again, all those bets are off in PvP, but yeah, I don't see, from a PvE standpoint, I don't see where you have any trouble whatsoever going up against running 4 attackers. So that's what we're going to try, and we'll see how it goes. I'd like to increase my damage output amount inside of the Sec Boss, which is the Sec tournament. Okay, the Martial Soul tournament. I want to actually increase my damage in this, okay, because you get better rewards. Okay, I haven't done this today yet. And I'd also like to create my damage inside the Tyrant's Nest. That's you get good rewards in that as well. So I'd like to do that. And then of course I want to increase my damage inside of the Treant. Okay. I'm at 10 right now. I'm actually surprised. That's actually a little bit higher than I would have thought. 12. That's actually a little bit higher than I thought because these guys are really powerful. But as you can see, I'd like to get back into the top. I'd like to be in, within the top 10 on those. And 204, running 4 attackers is of course going to give you that. But I don't think there's anything that's going to be able to kill you PvE related with 4 attackers. Once you're using SP characters, I wouldn't try it with triple S characters. Simply because of the fact that even though they have pretty good survivability, some of the damage you can, especially inside of the Treant, is pretty nasty. Not so much the actual base Treant, which is this one, but the elemental Treant. He can jack out some serious damage. So you got to keep that in mind when you're actually playing it. So, but you can try it. But once you get up to 119, you'll be able to max out those characters, and you can start rolling in 4 attackers and start maybe building towards 4 attackers in the future. The attackers, they came out. I mean, we've got Divine King Tang Xian attacker, we've got Divine King Mahjong attacker, and we've got the Divine King Wu attacker. They've given us 3 attackers in a row. So obviously they're sort of indicating that it's okay to run multiple 4 attackers. There's just no reason not to, because the survivability is just so high off the scale. And you got to understand, you got your soul bones, okay, that you can get massive amounts of damage from them, and healing from them. Extended soul bones, you get healing from them as well. Your immortal herb sets, you get hit points, and you get healing from those. So there's multiple facets. I mean, putting 4 attackers in there doesn't mean you're not going to get any healing. It just means you're not going to have a character dedicated to healing, and that's like Oscar, who's the best healer in the game. If you're in PvP, you probably should be using Oscar as your healer because he's just an excellent healer. He definitely top you off without much of a problem. But in PvE, he's really not needed when you're looking to just get maximum damage for the rankings, because the higher you are in the rankings, the more rewards you get on a daily basis from the being your rankings inside of all of the events that they have. You get rewards for based on your ranking. So I like to get about 2,000 a day just from, you know, when I check in the morning and to check my mail, I get like 2,000 on a daily basis just because of all the positions I am in the rankings. And that allows you to ramp up your diamonds, which are needed for now. You're getting 5,000-6,000 diamonds just to purchase some of the things in the divine tool. You have to purchase those 15 pools. You know, it's not difficult to blow through your diamonds really fast. So, and then you have to wait a little bit to build them back up. I'm surprised we haven't had a time limited buy event here. Actually, they normally throw a time limited buy event around an actual Master Forge event, but I haven't seen it. I'm one of the reasons I'm being a little bit cognizant of my diamonds is I'm waiting for one to appear, because you can get a really lot of good stuff in there, and I'm hoping we'll start to see some good stuff in terms of SP stuff in there. That's what I'm hoping. So just waiting for a time limited buy event to roll around, because if they do put SP stuff inside of there, it's going to be pricey. So, you know, the days of 5,000 is gone. You know, I think it used to be 4,000 was what, and then it went up to 5,000 with the Triple S Divine Tool shards, and now they're getting into 7,500 and 9,000 diamonds for purchasing certain things for the, you know, for inside of the SP events. So the prices are going up for your diamonds, so you might want to be a little bit more wary of how many you have in there. You know, these events are regular. Okay, I mean, it's like the characters introduced a week and a half later to 2 weeks later, they'll have the second phase. 2 weeks later, they'll introduce the next character, and you'll be able to continue on your character. So 2 weeks, roughly 2 weeks between each. So you want to make sure that you don't get your diamonds too low to the fact where you won't be able to participate in that event, and at the same time maybe get into a time limited buy, or if they throw up a Divine Tool event at the same time, where you're going to need 7,000-8,000 for that. Also remember your battle pass, you're probably gonna have to spend 9,000 diamonds there to get the final 10. So, and anytime they come up with the extended soul bone events, and the soul bone events you have to purchase the chests because you can't get enough extended bone keys, so you have to actually spend about 10,000 diamonds there to get purchase all the chests. So there are things in there that use your diamonds and use your diamonds very fast. So you always want to keep them full. And you can keep them full just by placing high in all of the rankings. And then your sect, you can get like, you know, 3,100 from that, from the sect race. So there are just ways in there. And then just doing your dailies, you get diamonds from that as well. So keep that in mind, and don't let your diamonds get too low. All right, so that's everything. So we'll have a video here in a day or two when the new stuff comes out. And hopefully we'll have some better luck getting Woo and the new Team Pass. All right, so thanks a lot for watching. Remember to subscribe. When you subscribe, you'll see a bell. Hit the bell. You get notified each time I drop a video. Kenrir coming at you in the corner, signing out.